you have to pull over a green chair. Grab a green chair from the green table.
Jada!
Right here.
Mr. Brennan, where's Emily?
I'm cool. Don't worry about it.
Emily!
I mean, other than the fact that I used to ride my girl.
I need more.
Alright, I'm moving down.
Good haircut. Oh, it is all by himself. Okay, can we switch?
Oh, still not there. What?
Huh?
Where's Muriel?
Mr. Brennan.
You are there's the next guy.
Oh!
Okay, you're sitting about.
Have fun, Lexi!
I heard that one.
Okay, everybody got it?
Where are we?
Hey, Jay.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't move at all.
Okay, we all good? All right. We all good? Julian, we good? No. Okay. You were here. I moved you back. Going crazy. All right. So I do feel, I have to say, I feel a little bit bad for Mr. Logan, who's all by himself over at the table. But that's just the way it had to be, because I now have 33 in class, so it's an odd number. And now that we actually have everybody back, it's me. That is, we had to move things around. So, so let me say this. At least we know everybody's here, right? Okay. So a number of people, I'll tell you a little bit. I know that you guys are told, I guess from what I've heard, that you guys are told that I had pneumonia and was out. I did not actually have pneumonia. I went to the doctor because I thought I might have pneumonia, because my wife had pneumonia and she was really sick and I was not feeling well at all. So I went to the doctor. I did not have pneumonia. Instead, I had something a little bit more odd. There are the flu virus. Everybody knows the flu virus, right? There are two different types of flu virus that are out, the common flu that everybody can get. There's type A and type B. You go to a flu shot, you get a flu shot, you get, so you don't have to get both type A or either one, type A or type B. I lucked out, and because I don't do anything just, like, kinda, I do it all the way or nothing, I got both A and B. So, which is very rare. Most people don't get both A and B. Most people don't get that sick. In fact,
get A or B.
Right, most people don't get A or B. I got both. In fact, I was so sick that when, and they were so worried about it, that when I went to get tested, they took a test and they sent me to go to a chest x-ray, and I came back and they had me just wait in the waiting room. I was sitting in the waiting room for a grand total of probably about 45 seconds before a nurse rushed out and got me and moved me back to a secure room. And the entire time, she wouldn't come within 10 feet of me. She's like, "Mr. Bitter, come with me." And I'm like, "Okay." And so she sits me down and she's like, "We ran your flu test. You shouldn't be around any other person at all." And I'm like, "Why? Do I have leprosy or something?" I was really afraid. She's like, "You have flu A and B." I'm like, "This is terrible." Really? She's like, "I don't even know what that means." She's like, "It's bad." And it's really funny because the entire time the nurse had been really close to talking to me and really comforting me, handing me Kleenexes and stuff like that. Once they found out that I had A and B, I was sitting in one side of the room, they would walk in the door, shut the door, and then step back against the door. So they could be as far from me as possible in the room. It was glorious. I had to spend the first couple of days when I was really, really contagious. I went home and I had to spend the entire 2 days sitting in my basement. I couldn't go anywhere near my kids. I couldn't go anywhere near my wife. I basically just locked myself in that room and occasionally left to use the restroom and get some more chicken noodle soup. That's like all I did for about 2.5, maybe 3 days. So that was fun. And then we found out from the doctor that by that time my contagiousness was down enough that I could at least be around my kids. So I was able to hang out and do that. The problem with this is I was still sick enough that it lasted long enough. I wasn't able to, originally when I planned giving you guys those projects, I gave you guys projects because obviously it's a great thing for you to do. But also it gives me time so that I can get caught up on some of the quizzes and other grading stuff that I needed to do for you because the semester ended. But with me being sick, none of that actually happened. So I am admittedly very far behind on getting some of your grading done. Okay. But the good news is, I guess, all of our grades have to be in by Monday, so everything will be done by Monday. So for those of you who are wondering what you got on a key terms quiz or what you got on your big project that we just got done, your timeline project, be just a little bit patient till Monday. Everything will be in on Monday. Okay. So I just got to get caught up now that I'm done being sick and back and healthy. I will have everything caught up by Monday. Okay. So there's that. Now, speaking of your timeline projects, I got a couple of emails from people over the weekend. Both the substitute emailed me, Ms. Campusano emailed me, and I had a couple of other students email me personally. That they were having problems sending their projects in. And I know that this must have been a problem because I have 3 periods of world history. This period alone has 33 students in it. So from this period alone, I should have gotten 32 projects because Immediate's gone, so I shouldn't have enough projects. But I should have gotten 32 projects from this class alone. Over Christmas break, I only received 45 total from all classes. So I know some people were having problems. Now, if this was you, here's the deal. I'm gonna put a little bit of the onus on me, a little bit of the responsibility on me. Say I wasn't here to help guide you through it. I wasn't here to help guide you through it and to walk you through on that last day on Friday. So, like I said, I have to have all grades turned in by Monday. So if you have not turned in your project to me yet, if you turn it in by Friday, I will not count it as late. Okay? I will not count it as late. And right now, in the next couple minutes, I'm going to walk you through some of the things that I'm going to walk you through turning it in again, okay? So that you can make sure that you did turn it in. If you have questions about whether or not I received your particular project, you can come see me at the end of class, okay? Because I'm going to give you guys something to do in a little while. You guys will start a new study guide. Once you're done with that, you can come see me. But I'm not going to just do that right now, okay? If you struggled with turning in your project, you didn't know how to do it, you had a problem with it for some strange reason, for some reason or another, any reason at all, I'm going to walk you guys through turning in your project once again so you can see it. And then, so you know exactly what you do. What you need to do in order to turn in your project and turn it in correctly is go into your timeline. Go back to your timeline, open it up, just like I've done here with this sample one that I created. Open up your timeline, you're going to just click up here on the top where the URL is. It should highlight the entire thing. Make sure you copy it. Then go into your email. So let's say this is one of my many email accounts. You go into this email, you're going to send an email to me, my email address. If you do not have it, is that right there. If you do not have my email address, it's right there. It's bbittner@oswego308.org. bbittner@oswego308.org. Nope. They stopped doing that right before I started. No problem. So you guys have subject, you don't necessarily need a subject line, but many of you did this, which was actually really nice, especially for those of you who have some sort of strange, weird email address like, Jelly Belly Buttons 22. I don't know who that is. Emily. You might want to put in the subject line. You might just want to put in your name. Put in your name, and then it's your timeline project. Okay, so I know what it is when I look at it, and then all you have to do, the only other thing you have to do, is paste in the URL. Once that's pasted in, you don't need to write anything in there. You don't need to tell me a story or make a comment or anything like that. Just paste the URL. That's all I need. And then you can send it. That way, when I go to my email, it should show up right there. There it is immediately. I can click it on here, open it up. I can click the link, and it opens up your timeline. And then I can grade. Yes. If you shared the link, it should. It should. If you did it that way, I'll double check and make sure I got it. But if you did it that way, that should work. Yes.
Can you go
I will, if you know, because it's a jumble of all the classes. So if you want to find out if you turn it in, come see me at the end of class. I will tell you. I can tell you this much: there were a few people that. There were a few people that, for some reason or another, the school's internet filter blocked your email. I don't know why. I don't know why. So I need you to resend it, and I'll get it in a day or two. I get an email every morning saying these emails were blocked. Do you want to receive any of these? And I can go on and click deliver and get them. The problem is that they were sent to me so long ago that file's been cleaned out, so they're not there anymore. So if you were one of those people, and I'll tell you who those were in just a little bit, I'm going to need you to resend it today or tomorrow, sometime before Friday. Okay? Any other questions on sending your project? Yes.
You, at the beginning, before you were sick, you told me that I didn't have to have an email in that connection.
Send stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because for some reason, Google doesn't want me to on it.
Okay. I'll check yours out later. I'll figure out how to do it. So what I might have you do is just log in. I'll do that. Any other questions? Cool. All right. Now that that's done. Okay. Today we are starting. We are starting a new unit. We're moving on. We are starting a new unit. New year, new seats, new unit. Lots of new stuff. We are starting, as of today, we are starting to talk about sorry. No, you're not. No. All right. Julian, it's not funny. No, it's not.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So, Julian, stop, please. Okay. Today we're starting a new unit. Like I said, we're starting a new unit. We're starting a unit that is going to investigate the beginnings, the foundations of Western civilization, the very beginnings of our civilization. Some people might consider the greatest Western civilization. I don't know. I would say that, but some people might. We're looking at the very beginnings, and as we look through these three different civilizations, these three cultures that heavily influenced our own civilization, you'll start to see little things that relate, that connect, ways in which they are the same, ways in which they are similar. How are our cultures influenced by the things that we are studying? You will start to see that. It'll make a little bit more sense. You'll start to see some more connections, at least a lot more than what we've seen so far. Because our civilization is very much based on the things taught and learned in these three societies. Those three societies, we're starting out today, we're going to start with the ancient Hebrews. Very important society. The next one we're going to talk about is the ancient Greeks, and then followed by the ancient Romans, which will actually move us for the first time, once we are done talking about ancient Rome, will move us for the first time onto the AD side of our timeline. So, this is one of those times during these next 3 chapters where you're going to have to be very, very careful when working with timelines. Because we're going to be working with both sides. Both sides of the timelines. Both AD and BC. Or CE and BCE. We're going to be working with both sides. Primarily, we've worked on the BC side up to this point. We've touched a little bit on AD, but we haven't really gone over it. The Roman Empire spans both sides. So do the Hebrews and the Greeks. So we're really going to have to be careful when we're talking about BC versus AD. Okay? So that's one of the things we're going to be talking about. But we're going to start today with the ancient Hebrews. Now, before we get started, I do have one small apology to make, and that is this. Also, a quick announcement. If you borrowed a textbook to work on your timeline at home, and you have not brought that back to either the cart that was in the library or this particular classroom, you need to do that ASAP, like by tomorrow morning. Because we are short 9 textbooks. 9 textbooks. Short 8, you brought one back? All right, we're short 8. 8. That's still a lot. Okay? It is going to seriously infringe on doing some of the things in this class. So if you have a textbook that you borrowed while I wasn't here with the sub, you need to bring that back. Okay? Because we are short. Right? That being said, most of you should have textbooks underneath your desk. If you would please take those out. You don't have one.
I have one.
Oh, you have one?
Why
There's
don't I
your
have
here.
one?
Mine is messed up.
Oh, you have one.
So you guys can share. Make sure there's at least 2 books per table. Or share.
Jules, where's the book I gave you?
Okay. If there is not one underneath your desk, please share with the people in your group. Share your textbook. This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the number one reason why. This is the number one reason why I do not let you guys take textbooks home regularly. Is because now we are fully short. Now, if you're a group that has 4 textbooks, I know there'll be at least one group of 4 in here that only has 2 textbooks. If you are a group of 4 and you have all 4 textbooks, if you would please share your one with Alex's group. They only have 2 textbooks back there for the 4 of them. So if you are a group of 4, if you would please share one of your textbooks with them, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you. That being said, if you would please open your textbooks to page 196. 196.
There we go. We're talking about. Why are we talking about cowgirls? It says Western.
Page 196. Foundations of Western Ideas. Don't mess with the purple fox.
It's a fox? I thought it was like a mouse.
I thought it was a
A squirrel, that's it, a squirrel.
Okay,
What is it? I thought it was a bird.
page 196. Yes. Yep. Why are you doing it?
Yeah, we don't really know.
No,
Every group should have 3 at least. You should have. I don't have. Okay.
Okay, page 196.
need one over here.
Page 196.
2. But they-
What we see here, the foundations of Western civilization on the. Wait, I got my copy of my book. Well, because I got to have a book for a while.
Because these 2 people have a hard time sharing. So if you have a book at home,
Oh, let's do someone to
Please,
you.
What if it's not a textbook? What if it's a book about, I don't know,
All right, here we go. Ready?
about algebra?
Ladies and gentlemen, you guys ready?
Sure.
Okay, the foundations of Western civilization can be traced back more than 2,000 years. To the eastern Mediterranean region. There, the ancient Hebrews and Greeks developed many of the ideas and traditions that have shaped the world today. The Hebrews' religion, Judaism, was based on a belief in one God and basic ideas about right and wrong. The ancient Greeks created the world's first democracy. The Greeks also revolutionized science and mathematics and created some of the world's most famous art and literature. In the next 3 chapters, you will learn how the Hebrews and Greeks helped shape the world you live in today. So let's take a look at this little picture here. It actually tells us a little bit about about the Greek societies we're going to be talking about. In this scene, the daughter of a Greek king warns her father not to trust a general who needs help in a war. What does this scene tell you about Greek society? Here we have a picture. Daughter of the king. She is advising her father not to trust a general. What does this tell you about their society, about their culture? What can you learn from just this picture? Who's getting the advice? The king. Okay. Who's giving the advice? The daughter. Is that important? Why would it be important? Brooke?
Could die.
Okay. Lexi, why else would it be important?
So the whole kingdom doesn't get burned down.
Okay. She's trying to protect the kingdom. Think about who is giving the advice, though. Who's giving the advice? To who? Nathan.
Well, like women didn't have to say anything, so.
At least we can go so far as to say daughters didn't. Married women in a lot of different societies did have a number of rights. They could own property, they could do different things. Especially in Egyptian culture, married women could do a lot of different things. But daughters were almost considered like property. You could sell them to the highest bidding husband, essentially, for marriage, so that you can increase your property. So, here in Greek society, we see a king actually taking the advice and listening to his daughter. His daughter. She is also educated enough to know not to trust this general. So what do those things tell us about their society? Julian? You raising your hand?
I thought this girl was big.
Was what?
Big.
No, it's his daughter. That's what it says in the thing.
Weird.
Read it in the blue section. Right there. I just read it aloud to the entire class.
I think she is.
And this saying the daughter is
Your age, younger,
So,
they both look like
older?
they both look like she's
She looks older.
all work dressed.
She's short. Well, she's yelling. Well, yeah, but she looks tall.
So, but what does this tell us about their society? Not about the art itself. Let's not look at the art itself. What does this tell us about the society? That the daughter is giving advice to the king.
That woman's have lots of rights.
The women on multiple levels have more rights than what we may have seen in other societies beforehand. That their opinions are valued. That they are valued. So something definitely different.
The rich are smart, because, or had a good education, because she looks about our age and she's giving the king advice.
She does look kind of young. And she's giving the king good advice. Also, one of the other things that it tells us about this society is, remember our hierarchies before
Yeah.
in other societies? Who was on the top?
The priest.
Not quite. Who?
The pharaohs.
The pharaohs or the kings were always on top, right? And where would the generals be? On the middle, right? They'd be under the king. Is that sort of the way that this scene is sort of playing out?
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe the king's on top, but the king has to not be convinced to go to war because the general wants him to. Maybe the generals are on top. Maybe it's a more militaristic government than what we've seen in the past. More focused on the military. There's a couple different things that we can learn. All right, turn the page. Remember what I said? We have our timeline here. We have our very first timeline from this section.
Scary stuff.
We have our very first timeline here. We see it spanning from about 2000 BC all the way to the other side, to about 70 AD. Julian, please stop talking. Please stop talking. So it spans that length of time. We have from 2000 BC all the way up to about 70 AD. So remember we were talking about, you've got to be careful with your dates here. You've got to be careful with your dates. There's some interesting things that it talks about, and you guys will read a little bit more about those in just a minute. But there's some interesting things on this timeline. The art itself on this timeline is extremely interesting, and we'll get to that more when we start talking about ancient Greece. But you guys have about 15 minutes left. So I have your first study guide.
Oh.
Yeah, first study guide of the year, first study guide of the new chapter. Section 2. Section 2.
You will learn the answer.
Mr. Bender?
Yeah. What?
Nothing.
I think because women didn't think it was fashionable, so therefore.
So once again, I apologize for not everybody having textbooks. Do the best you can. Share.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. We're trying to follow up our kids at all Christmas break and we're not going out. Oh my goodness, you're not believing. How old are they? They're a year and a half.
No, was that someone else?
They're little.
All I know is I know, I just remember that.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen.
No, none of us.
And then you want
Oh, Mr. Bittner. Mr. Bittner.
Who do you think I am?
Julian.
Mr. Bittner.
Julian.
Who do you think you
Julie.
are taking my your fees?
Julian.
Hasn't practiced for a couple weeks. Still better than my life. Take for example,
Mr. Bittner.
We didn't
get any. We didn't get any. I did.
What?
Mine's real.
No, that's what I was trying to ask you.
Jules.
You were right here, and then.
I gave them to Jules to
Wait,
pass out.
Juliana! I thought you were standing right by our table. I thought you gave us our table. I just
that's
gave
my
myself one.
definition of
Yeah.
Whenever I see
I gave the pack to Jules and I'll pass out. I thought she would pass
I
out.
thought
to
you
me
were
first.
doing the front row. I was
That's
doing
bad
that.
handwriting.
No, he doesn't.
Now look at that, that almost looks neat, but
All right, get to work, people.
can I read it? If I
If
can't
you would
read
like to
it,
know, or not, Julian, get to work. I don't have to sit you back in the back of the room, y'all. You at any place in this room if I want.
yeah, I can read that. Could get a little smaller.
Okay, really quickly, guys. While you guys are working, remember I told you that there was a list of people who tried to email me their projects and for some reason it got blocked. The following people are those people who it got blocked and you need to resend it. Okay. D. Yours got blocked. You need to resend it. Okay. Let's see here. Emily. A. Yours got. I'm assuming is your. Well, come here for a second. I don't want to read off your email address to everybody.
Oh my goodness.
Yours got. But like, I have no idea. Now when I try and go to Julian, seriously before. We got a bunch of them in true. Like I got B, yeah, well, we got a hot meal, Julian, stop talking and get to work. Not the time or place. Now's the time and place to be doing world history homework. If you would like to know whether or not I received your project, you can come ask me now. Not in a mass group, like one at a time. Yeah,
That's mine.
Wait,
Wait, what did you write for?
Pencil sharpener. Do we have a pencil sharpener?
Yeah, we do behind the tree.
Behind the tree.
Look at this.
Where's Dave?
Period ended. Yeah.
He was an hour.
You yelling at me. You yelling at me.
Who's that for?
Hey, you yelling
Are
at
you
me.
sharpening that?
Julian,
So you can use it?
I've asked you.
She was yelling at me.
I don't.
Use that
Julian,
short
And
pencil.
she didn't even have to work.
Julian,
But then use that pencil. That one.
you,
But don't
there's
leave-
no reason
don't
for
leave
this.
the site
If you
without-
can't work over there, I can find another place for you to work.
Kiss each other, but- Just say, yes, I need it.
Julian, I don't think so.
The answer down.
I believe so.
I haven't said a thing to Nathan so far in class today. All I because your voice is the only one I can hear. So
That's right next to you.
if you want to continue working there, do it silently. Otherwise, I can find another place for you to work. Brooke, right here. No, What?
It said the A-word.
Watching.
Goodbye.
Oh, right on? Sorry,
It wasn't even on.
Wait, how are you doing with that?
Yes. You go with me. A little
I'm pretty sure I saw you.
Yeah, I agree.
And you it's like a or guys, you put them in bags. No, that's what you should do. Give everybody a plate. Here, this is for minutes. Hey! What did I just want to get like that's so much fun to keep it like mine saying go to Venice because it's super good. I want to go to the Great Tomato There's a tomato farm. Oh, you and like when you were
You should have gotten the whole thing done. You had plenty of time. You're going to spend so much time yelling about things, and therefore having to have to talk to you about things.
I'm not moving.
Julian, why are you sitting at the table?
No, you'd rather move than I would.
Do we sit in the same seat that we had?
You sit in the same seat. You got to move. You would move. I would.
Okay.
Yeah, just sit where you were for right now.
Okay.
I'll have a seat again for a seat check for you.
Okay.
We'll see if I get.
Yes. Yes. Because I like your hair. So is your face. Oh God. I got the whole table to
And the entire
myself.
class heard it. We had 24. We had 24 people in the class there.
What?
Oh, so you didn't turn up?
Go to where you were sitting before, and we'll figure out.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
Majora's Mask.
Huh?
That Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
For what?
Oh, I can't read.
Oh yeah, I got yes too.
Hey!
No, seriously.
Dude, it's fun. It's so
I
fun.
got it down. Yes, fine.
Like, so
It's like a shirt. It's like a shirt. What's it worth? It's like a shirt. It's a big shirt.
look at it, dude.
Yes.
I'll find that out tonight.
It's like,
What Christmas party do you want?
No, not yet. I was supposed to get it done during last period, but I was a little distracted. The new seating chart. I was just a little bit.
nice.
Oh my god.